to y'all. How y'all doing? It's your boy Mark. This is a special hat, by the way. It's like a regular hat, but this hat I wore to Miami. My I did a special race there in 2023. Was it 23? Yeah, 2023. And even though I lost my GoPro camera on the beach, I still have special memories of that race. It was the last month of my dad being here with me, and I was able to show him the video of the race. He seemed to enjoy them. I mean, he wasn't able to speak at that time, but his eyes would light up and perk up whenever I would show him my race results. Chocolate, you are the first to check in the morning. What is happening today? Good morning. What is it? Today? Maybe that's your time or something. Because if I have an after, you are never the first. But you are the first today. So I'm saying. I will admit, I don't know what's going on with the feed. So I didn't really come on here to talk about the feeds. If you guys have information on the feeds, you can give it to me and I will talk about it. But I right now I'm on my way to a client's house for a client visit. So right now I'm just on my way. I have about 30 minutes to chat. So I said, let me hop on my YouTube. I've been telling y'all that multitasking is the only way I've been able to keep up with doing consistent lives. By the way, y'all, I got up in the morning. I went to the gym. This is day 2 of 2. I'm planning to do 30 straight days. Not necessarily of gym, but 30 straight days of exercise. And I've knocked out 2 of them. I'm kind of proud of that, even though it sounds like it's not much. I have been in such a big gym slump for the last probably more than a year. And I'm trying to just take back control of that aspect of my life, which is a big, big, big part of my life. Or it was. It still is, even though I'm not doing it so actively right now. It still is. Where we at? Hey, Marshall. Hi, Ma. So, I know the action steps. I think sometimes that makes making changes harder when you've kind of been there, done that, and you get this sense of complacency and comfortability where you're like, I've done this before, I can do it again, no big deal. But then you stop doing the things that got you there. My trainer spoke to me and he said, your problem is never reaching a goal. Your problem is that you will work tirelessly and relentlessly to reach the goal. But once you get to the goal, then you're like, kick my feet up, I made it. And that's me to a T. When I'm trying to work towards a goal, you just see me work until I get there. And then when I get there, I'm like, you know what? I can chill a little bit. And you can chill a little bit. But if you chill a little bit too long, then you could be going right back in the other direction. That's what happened to me with my fitness. Who else came in that I didn't see? I think I already said hi to Marshall and Vicky. Yeah. Math is mathing. I wish I could put that up there, but I can't when I'm going on YouTube and not StreamYard. But there's 17. Okay, it just dropped to 10. There's 10 people watching and there's 4 likes. So the math is not mathing. Do you know what solo is? No, I don't. What is solo? Tell me what solo is. Explain to me what solo is. Is solo some kind of app, I assume? Where are we? Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And hit the notification bell. Much appreciated. Thanks, Marshall. Marshall, I've been in communication with Brian. Actually, Brian was on my channel. I don't know if you were there that day. Maybe a day or two ago, he came on the channel. He said he hadn't watched any of this season so far, but now he's interested because Casey was on an episode, and he said Casey's his favorite, and he told me to hit him up. He told me to give him a call. I haven't had a chance to yet, but I'm going to try to give him a call, I don't know, this evening maybe. I'll figure out a time, but that's progress from whatever it was before, because I know that when I would reach out before, he said I'm going through a bunch of things and I can't talk right now. So the fact that he said reach out to me and hopefully we can connect means that he's at least in a place where he's wanted to reconnect, which is good. Champagne cola, that's what that is. When I wrote that, it was Vicky chocolate. Oh shoot. Hi, I'm your new subscriber. Hi Noah. Thank you, new subscriber. How are you doing? Where are you from? How did you find my channel? I know that's 3 questions back to back. How are you doing is the first question. Where are you from is the second question. How did you find my channel is the third question. Do we have an arc though? That's the question. We got Noah in the building, but do we got an arc? I had that song stuck in my head. I have a music group at my job, so now I listen to music at my job, which is awesome. I mean, I always listened in my headphones, but now I can blast the music in my job. Some people don't like that. I don't care. Nobody has told me I'm not allowed, and until that day comes, I am allowed because I'm the boss. Mississippi, that's fine. I don't think I've probably had someone here from Mississippi before, but not recently. So as far as I know, you are currently the only person from Mississippi. I can't say that. I'm sure somebody else from Mississippi is on here, but at present, the people that I know on here are not from Mississippi. So you are the best person from Mississippi on my channel right now. I'm a small content creator. What type of content do you create? I want to know what type of... I'm a small content creator too. My channel has 1,500 subscribers. I mean, some would say that's not small, but I would say that's small. I would say any content creator is a small content creator until they get at least about 5K. And I might have about 4K between my 2 channels, but I don't use the other channel anymore. So I don't count those views I don't count those subscribers towards my total subscriber count. I have a retired channel of 2,500 subscribers and an active channel with 1,500. But I am proud of the fact that I made 2 different channels that I got monetized. Not many people can say that. I don't know what that thing it just showed me. It's Ma something, and it showed a flower next to it. Down in I don't know where Biloxi is, which is the beach. They have a good music park. Music and the beach, two of my favorite things. That was kind of a little joke. I mean, it's not a joke, but I said it like that because of Xavier's cameo that he gave me. Music and mental health, two things that I love. Music is dope, and mental health is cool. uh, hasn't been deleted. Oh, you sent a flower. That's what that was. I was like, what is that thing? Somebody's watching me. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety. That song is stuck in my head because somebody always requests it in my group. I don't approach women because I'm black. Um, this gives the appearance of a troll comment. Okay, Charicity. Yo, Charicity is the one who pulled the trigger. Oh my! When I saw that go so fast, I assumed that was Ma. Because Ma and Cass are the ones that pull the trigger that fast. I'm 11 years old. Michelle said hi. Hi, Michelle. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Funny thing is, 5 months ago, when I started my new job, I remember one time period where I said, whoa, I've just gone a whole week feeling happy. When is the other shoe gonna drop? Now, I can tell you guys the truth. It's not work that really makes me unhappy anymore. If I sometimes I'm unhappy. I'm not happy 24/7, and sometimes I still experience depression and anxiety, all that stuff. But there was a long time period where most of what I felt in terms of anxiety, depression, and whatever else was job related. And the job might be one of the most stable things about my life right now, honestly. I feel good at my job. I feel pretty happy and I feel pretty stable. And things outside of the job sometimes can get to me, but during the hours of 8:30 and 4 p.m., I feel great. I'm still in the car, but yet I'm not in the car going to 10 people's house in one day like I was at the other place. I'm going to one house. I'm going to spend anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes there, and then I'm going to head back to the job, and then I'm going to get paid for the travel over there and back. And that occupies about 2 hours of my day, of my work day. And I have a flexible situation because I don't like sitting in an office, but it's not an overwhelming one where I'm an Uber driver. It felt like I was an Uber driver that had to take notes once I was done driving the Uber on every ride because I had a caseload that I had to go attend to. And after I was finished all the driving, then I had to sit at the computer and document everything. Oh my God. People don't realize how much of an impact your work life can have on your home, like your overall health and well-being. I don't get the panic attacks hardly anymore. It's just night and day. What did Noah say? I don't know what Noah said. What was this next one? I like watching the Negro in its natural habitat. Well, apparently Marshall doesn't like your message, so you won't be able to provide any more messages. Bye. I've had a pretty bad day. I'm sorry that your dog passed away, Noah. Uh, yeah, so I'm a big advocate for doing things that make you happy, because life is only so short. Not just doing things that make you happy, doing things that make you happy with people who make you happy as well. Because if you're spending time around people who make you sad, depressed, or they don't reciprocate, you know, what you provide for them in some ways, or one-sided relationships, or people who use you, things like that, then what's the point of having them around? That's how I feel. I've had people who I kept around for way too long, and I said this in one of my old YouTube shorts. Friendships, relationships, whatever it is not a lifetime achievement award. Because I know that some of us feel like if somebody is away for a while, when I say away, I mean they act away for a while. For instance, I'll give you an example. I had this friend that I knew since I was 8, 9 years old. And at 8 and 9 years old, we were inseparable friends. And then certain things and values and morals this person had when we reconnected on Facebook in our probably mid to late 20s. I kept them around because I'm like, this person can't be like that. This is not the person that I grew up with. Like the person that they were when we grew up together does not mean that that's the person that they are now. Nor does it mean that I have to accept that they are how they are right now because we grew up together before. Somebody's picking up what I'm putting down. You know? He ate something poisonous and then a snake bit him. I know we aren't talking BB. Will wants to go home. What did Will say? Like I said, this is just a freestyle. I told you guys I have a 30-minute span of time, which is now about 10 minutes left, to be able to entertain anything that you want to talk about. But I just put the disclaimer out there that I haven't watched the feeds in about 2 days. I watched a little bit of the feeds last night, but generally I haven't watched the feeds in 2 days. So what is Will saying, Chocolate, about why he wants to go home? I do know that generally he was pissed about continuously going on the block, and I know that was getting to him. But I don't know if it's just the game overall. I don't know if it's just constantly being on the block. Did something new happen? It makes such a huge difference when you enjoy your work days. That's what I'm trying to say. People used to try to tell me, like, it's just a job. Just realize that it's not your life. It's just a job. And I'm like, there's nothing that I do at home for 40 hours a week. There's nothing that I do outside of my job that I do for 40 hours in 1 week. If I go to the gym, even during my days of being a hardcore gym rat, I would say that I spent about 10 to 15 hours at the gym, which is a lot, but it ain't 40. If I spent time with my family, and I don't mean time spent like you live together so you're in the house. I mean like time spent doing activities together. Even if you're a real close-knit family, it ain't no 40 hours. Families only really spend that significant types of time together in a week if they're on a vacation together or something. But generally, on a consistent basis, what do you do for 40 hours of your week? If you're not, like, outside of doing a 40-hour job, what do you do for 40 hours? So you can't just say, just realize that that's not your life. It's the most time-consuming thing that you do in your whole life. So if you're really unhappy there, it is going to translate into your life. That's why I said, I remember Ma said to me one time, like a month or two after I started this job, she was like, all I remember is you complaining about your jobs. on all your lives. And I'm like, that's the truth. I can't even deny that. I was every single live. I had some kind of complaint about something happening at my job. This job, I've had like a couple little things here and there, but they're not even worth really. They're not like hardcore things happening that make me stressed out when I go to bed at night that I'm tossing and turning thinking about. They're just job things, office politics, things that everybody who does a job is going to have to deal with. Got to go, y'all. Y'all have a great day and stay cool. You too, Marshall. I don't think he wants to. I think okay. So that's the last thing I knew about Will. So that sounds consistent. Why is everybody a mod? Because all these people have been here. I think at least at this point a minimum of a year for everybody that's a mod right now, and they're the most consistent people that comment on my channel. So that's why. Have a bedazzled day. Mark likes us. He said, if you're going to put me... I heard him say something like that, and yeah, that's... So, it's not anything new. Okay, I got it. I wonder if Will is getting to that. I'm mad, I'm going on the block, so... You get the person who gets the... I should just... Yeah, I think so. And I feel him on that, because he's the older guy, he's the outlier. Now that Amy's gone... Nobody else is even... I guess Rachel's 40 and that's the next closest person who connects to him. And he said to... Who was he talking to? Was it Vinny? He was telling somebody that he really likes her on a personal level. And he was surprised that this version of her that he's met is so nice and he didn't expect that. But aside from that, he's not really connecting with the youngins that are on the show, and he hates the fact that the perpetual pawn, the perpetual pawn blues is a thing. The perpetual pawn blues is a thing. The person that I can think of, Brittany D'Angelo in season 23. I remember at one point she broke down heavy for like back to back block choices. And if you think of that, you're like, every week you're not gonna every week they seem to tell him, Will, if I'm HOH, you're definitely not going on the block. And then when somebody else becomes HOH, they're like, Will, we all love you here. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to vote to send you home. And then you feel like y'all are all just lying to me, gaslighting me. They found an old clip of him saying, I'm not going to be one of those types of players that will cry when I go home and I miss my wife and kids just to do the same thing. Oh, like, I don't see him giving me Kenny vibes. Again, unless you saw something that others haven't seen, he doesn't really give me Kenny vibes. I think he's just upset that he's being put on the block every week. Because then you feel like, I have no skin in the game. I'm just like being thrown around until they finally decide they have no use for me anymore. That's a hard position to be in. I could imagine that being really frustrating and mentally draining. Now Riley, on the other hand, he's never even touched the block or sniffed the block. And he's continuously like, F this game. I don't give a F about this game. And I'm like, that annoys me to no end, because you know how many people try for these opportunities to be on Big Brother only for you to just be like, this is just a thing that I'm doing and I can do anything else outside of here. Like, sure, winning 750K would be great, but I have so many opportunities outside of here. Bruh, then don't sign up. Do something else. You didn't have to do Big Brother. Like, why did they pick you, man? It's the only thing you spend the majority of your life on. Most people spend 8+ hours a day with work and don't even see a spouse. That exactly, exactly. When my parents, when I was growing up, my parents they both had full-time jobs. Well, my mom had a part-time job, but once I was old enough, she had a full-time job. They were both working full-time. He would pop in the house like 5. She would get home like 11. By the time she got home, she was exhausted, and she would basically just shower and go to sleep. And then my dad would get up 8 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and then my mom would go to work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they only really overlapped but so much, and then they had to take care of us. It's just like, if you don't have a happy work life, kudos to the person who can spend that much time doing something they don't like and not have it impact them, because I am not that person. Auditioning tape. They all said that, and then they do. I know, before they get in the house. Zach? Every time somebody tells me something new about Zach, I get really annoyed, because Zach was one of the guys. Zach is not only on my draft, but even before I got him in my draft, Zach was somebody that I was like, I like this guy, and I would be happy if he wins. Zach is starting to work my nerves at this stage, because Zach was one of the people giving Will like reassurances and acting like he's his boy. Kidding me? So why is he doing that? Okay, who's on the block? Zach, Kelly, Adrian. So I know that he rocks with Adrian. So Zach would want Will to go home over Kelly also? Why? Zach is aligned with Kelly? 40 is honestly not close to 50. Yeah, you definitely don't relate to 20-year-olds, but 40-year-olds can relate to 30-somethings way better than they can relate to 50-year-olds. Probably so, because you're both in the millennials category. Hello from Scotland. Hello, Jeff from Scotland. I'm almost at my destination. They are trying to find any excuse to send Will home. I don't like that. And I like Will. Will's like, the older black men that we've gotten on Big Brother lately has left a lot to be desired. Will is a cool one. Will seems like a good guy. Will seems like, just like what he said in his interview, audition tape, whatever. Cool uncle. Cool uncle that I would go to for advice, rather than the T-word guy. You don't sleep 8 hours. So did my parents. Same thing. Same schedule. Really? Yeah. That's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. But yeah, I mean, you can, without me giving you details like that, you can assume that the fact that my parents did not see each other often had an impact on their relationship as well. It's only about 4, maybe 5 minutes. There's nowhere for me to park this time. Usually parking spots are full. All the parking spots are full. if I can park in the parking garage. Adrian is now targeting Eva. That is random. No parking. Oh, can I park in here? I don't know. I gotta see what the sign says. We got 9 people here. We got 8. We got 8 likes. Please throw me that last like so that I can leave here on a good note. It feels like I cannot park here, so if it feels like I cannot park here, I will not test my boundaries. In the spot that I left. Oh, this is for staff only. How about that one? Staff only. This is the worst part about these areas. I've never actually come here though and not been able to get a parking spot, so this is kind of... Ooh, I think we got one. Here we go. I've gotten exceptionally good at parallel parking while I'm on the phone. Like, I'm almost better at it than I am while I'm not on the phone. Alright. Let's get it popping. It's like 93 degrees outside, so this little 10-minute, not 10 minutes, but this little 3-4 minute walk to get me to morning. It's not a true life until someone shows up as soon as he ends it. Hi, Cougar Man. 9 in the chat. 11 likes and 10 people. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. The math is mathing. Thank you all. I get it, but I feel like it's not just the amount of times he's been put on the block, but just the fact that he feels like I'm going to be put on the block every time unless I win. I think that's more what it is. I'm trying to get to these last comments before I hop off here. Will and Ashley and Keanu had no choice but to win. Yes. One of these lives, I'm going to show up and not like just to drive the chat crazy. I wouldn't know whether you liked or not. People start to resign too quickly. Yeah, I'll be back up here. I see 11 on my end. I'll be back here on my way back. So talk to y'all later. Thanks for joining. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. hit the notification bell. Bye.